Hi, my name is Jillian, and I thought I would try to make a video about my experience with L5S1 disc herniation and the journey that I've been on over the last 10 years, ending, well, for right now, ending with a microdiscectomy at L5S1. So I am definitely not very experienced with making videos and posting videos, so please bear with me and keep that in mind. So I'll try to make it somewhat fast. I originally herniated my L5S1 10 years ago, and at the time I was told that I should get surgery by a neurosurgeon. I'm in Nanaimo, BC, on Vancouver Island in Canada. And at the time, it was really weird. The neurosurgeon said, you need surgery. There's a 50-50 chance that it will help. We could try steroid injections, but at the time he said, oh, well, the wait for the steroid injections is longer than the wait for surgery. So just get maybe you should just get surgery. And at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, how old was I? Right now I'm 41, so I think I was about 30 at the time. And I just said, no, I'm gonna wait for the injections. So I ended up getting 2 injections total. The first one didn't help much at all, and it was done without the X-ray support. So the person just kind of blindly stuck it in there, and not a good outcome. The second time I went to a specialty pain clinic in Victoria, and they actually used a special machine where they watched the needle go in, and that helped a lot more. So I was in chronic pain for about 2 years, but I did avoid surgery, and it did progressively get better and better and better. I know that sounds like awful, 2 years, but really the worst of it was the first, I would say, 6 months, and then it just got better and better. And I was able to, over the last 10 years, be pretty functional. I had 2 kids, and I did have C-sections because I couldn't handle the pushing, and that's what was recommended to me at the time. So I was fine with that. So, but overall, pretty good. I couldn't do sports. I had to give up a few things that I really loved, but it's good, right? July 1st, 2022, I reherniated the disc. I had increasing pain for about a year, so I kind of knew something was going on. And then I wasn't able to sit. I was really uncomfortable sitting. And so then one day I was like, I'll just stand today. And I kind of did everything I had to do, standing and walking around. And by the end of the day, that was it. I was done. I was done. I actually had to call an ambulance and go to the hospital. So, and long story short, I ended up being admitted for a week in the hospital, trying to get the pain under control. I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit. It was hell, absolute hell. The pain was way more than the first time, and far exceeded any pain I've ever experienced in my life. I can't even describe it. It was insane. And pain medication didn't even touch it. Nothing really touched it. I found mostly ice, and laying down was the only time I could get a little bit of relief, and it's very, very depressing, especially not being able to care for my children. That was the part that felt so hopeless. I didn't feel safe being left alone with my own children because I didn't feel like I could care for them. If one of them fell or needed a drink or anything, I could do nothing. And I had no idea when that was going to end. So yeah, that sucked. I ended up getting a steroid injection in the hospital. Somebody had canceled, and I guess they took pity on me and wheeled me over there to get the steroid injection during that first week. If I had not have gotten that, I would have waited probably maybe even a year. If you can believe that. That's how long the wait is in Nanaimo right now for the steroid injections. So got that. It didn't help much, but it possibly helped a little bit. Things did start getting a little bit better, but not really much better. So I started to explore options for surgery. This video is not really about the failings of the medical system, so I'm not going to go into that. But there were some major issues with trying to get a referral to a neurosurgeon, and the wait, I am told in BC is, or at least in my area on the island, is 1 to 2 years for a microdiscectomy surgery. So after lots of thought and discussions with family and support from my partner, we decided to pay privately. Another complaint, there's this law in BC right now where you can't pay privately. I don't understand the ins and outs of the law, but apparently you can't pay privately for a microdiscectomy in BC, even if you want to. So I had to decide to either go to Alberta or go to the US. For some crazy reason, it was way cheaper going to the US than Alberta. So that's what I did. I went to a clinic in Washington and paid privately for the microdiscectomy. It was about the cost of a cheap used car. So I thought, am I worth a cheap used car? Yeah, I think I am. So I went for it. And right now I am 4 weeks post-op. The first 3 weeks were pretty uncomfortable and I was feeling really scared, I will say. You hear a lot of people say that immediately after they get up, they're pain-free and it's a miracle and stuff like that. So I think my expectations were a little bit too high. Yes, it's true that the nerve pain, the shooting down the leg pain was gone, but the back pain, for me, the back pain and the just feeling like my back was made of glass. That's kind of the best way I could describe it. Like everything felt so fragile and stiff and painful. So that started to shift a little bit at week 3. So really only a few days ago, it started to shift, and all of a sudden I can like sit a little bit longer and I feel a little bit smoother. Like I feel like I can move around, like even right now, like I can do that. Like I really wasn't even doing that a couple days ago. So yeah, I'm starting to feel hopeful. And so I thought, okay, maybe I'll try to like make a video and bring some hope out there, because it's kind of hard. I did lots of research and tried to watch videos and things like that, and I didn't find anyone that really was sharing a story that felt similar to mine. So yeah, I hope this helps. I still have a long way to go, but this is week 4. Things are finally starting to feel a little bit better. I'm going to start, I had one physio session yesterday, not really much to it yet, mostly just doing your Kegels and starting to do some light core activity and some very, very light, minimal stretching. The first 6 months after a microdiscectomy or a disc herniation is your highest risk for reherniating, and I'm really mindful of that. So I'm being really careful the first 6 to 8 weeks, like really careful, and then very mindful the first 6 months. And then apparently after 2 years, things get the most kind of solidified. Again, not a medical professional, just going by my own research and all the ups and downs that have happened really over the last 10 years. I hope this was helpful. Thanks. Bye.